Welcome everyone to House of Chi Yoga. Today I want to share with you just a little yoga video. I know I say that every time, but yeah, that's what I'm here to share. Share my little yoga space. I never really plan anything, so whatever comes out is typically what comes out, and I just try to stop at a decent amount of time, so we'll see what happens today. If you'd like to go into half lotus, that just means one foot is on top to the left or to the opposite hip crease, and you have to keep a flex in the foot, so make sure it's nice and active. You're protecting the knee joints. And then we're going to take our fingertips down to the ground. As we inhale, lift up through the gaze. As you exhale, tuck the chin and expand through the back of the neck. And then you could just gently slide the chin right to left. Inhale, gaze comes up again. Exhale, bring the chin over to the right shoulder. Inhale, gaze up. Exhale, chin to the left shoulder. Now this time we're going to inhale, bring the palms overhead. And then exhale, reach the hands back for a bind, open up the heart. Try to keep the palms together. And then squeeze the traps up to the ears. When you're ready, release them back down. Let's do that one more time. Squeeze the traps up and pull them down. Release the bind, let the arms hang across body. Inhale, palms are going to lift up overhead and then open up the chest in these big sweeping circles. Look for some mobility across the shoulders. Hold the arms in a 90. We're going to rotate both palms down, gaze down, and then both palms up, gaze up. So you can stay with this double arm, or you can start alternating with a single arm, and you're gazing in the opposite direction of the palm that is moving down. So my right palm goes down, I gaze to the left. Let's keep moving right to left. Try to push it a little bit, get a little farther back behind the body. And then we'll inhale, palms up, and exhale, sweep the arms around to the side and come forward to midline. Hollow through the spine, tuck the chin, open up the upper back. One more inhale. Arms up, gaze up. Exhale, scoop and hollow, pull navel to spine. And then bring the hands down to the knees and take some nice active rolls forward and back. So we inhale to lift up and extend and exhale to roll back. This time, unroll the spine, walk the hands forward, keep the feet active and the sitting bones down. Open the mouth, relaxing the jaws on the exhales. Flexing your glute muscles, just add a little lift from fingertip to fingertip. So I want to work into my back muscles. Keep a neutral spine. Keep the gaze just down and slightly forward. And then we're going to add this big sweeping motion right to left. So I'm going to reach to the side, open the top arm, go all the way back towards my fold and go opposite direction. Let's go two more each side, creating space through the side body, creating length through the spine. And the arms and the fingers. Last one. Coming back through center, bind the fingertips together, and I'm just trying to place my fingers as close as I can get them, create a little bit of pressure, and then pull them apart. Let's do that a couple times. Beautiful. Now, shake out the hands. Anywhere you need, anything that feels good. And then we'll bring our feet together, center, and there's lots of space from my heel to my groin. And I'm just going to pay attention to my feet for a moment. So any part of the foot, in between the toes, tops of the toes, just try to touch all parts of the feet. I got cold feet this morning. It's a little bit chilly in here. So I'm going to warm them up and then cross the ankles and roll it into quadruped. From quadruped, tuck the toes under, push weight back into the toes. And my toes are like a little springboard. I'm just going to push weight back and then my toes are going to spring my body back forward. If you want to add on, you spring forward, hamstring curl. Spine is nice and long, the abs are engaged. And then landing in a quadruped, untuck the toes this time and tap them out on the mat. Now push the toes down, lock into the core a few times. You find these nice wraps through the shoulder. Stay where the elbow creases are forward, the lats are locked into place, and I can lift my navel to my spine. Now think about pulling your hip bones to your rib cage and push the top of the foot down, float the knees up. Keep holding for 3. Protract through the upper back, 2. Make more space, and 1 lower down. Cat-cow the spine, release through the spine, release through the belly. One more breath. Exhale, hold your round. You're going to press into the tops of the feet, come up again. Keep holding for 3. 2. You can stay there, or you can go fingertip tap right to left. If this is too much for the top of your foot, flip your toes under for more support. I do a lot of foot mobility, so this feels great on my ankles. This is something you eventually want to get to. And then lowering the hands down, taking the knees wide, and flip the palms up for child's pose. Another good thing to do is if that's really painful on the top of the foot for now, just do one foot at a time and make sure you're switching back and forth, because you want to build that strength through the feet. You want to build that nice flexibility through the front of the shin and all the way around the ankle. But it does take some time to get there. Tuck the toes downward facing. Pedal the knees across body. Keep the palms planted. So every fingertip, all my knuckles, the entire palm are working down to the mat. And then we'll bend both knees and extend forward to plank. Hold there. Bring the hips down, unroll to cobra. Inhale, gaze up. Exhale, tuck the chin, press into the palms to go back towards the quadruped. But then tuck the toes and shoot it back to down dog. Take a breath here. Work both heels down to the mat this time. Lengthen the back of the kneecaps. Let's bring it back forward to plank. Hold plank. Knees down, hips down, unroll to cobra. Inhale as you gaze up. And then exhale, tuck the chin, quadruped, downward facing dog. Bend the knees, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, flat. Exhale, fold, maybe take a little bind. Inhale to chair. Sits bones are down, palms are up overhead. Add a few rotations through the shoulder. So I'm not just rotating the wrist, I'm rotating all the way down into my shoulder girdle. Now hold up overhead, sink it back deeper to chair. Lengthen the tailbone. Keep the rib cage tucked in. Keep holding. Inhale as you come up to stand. Gaze forward and float the right knee to the chest. Exhale, sink it down. Come back to stand, left knee to chest. And take it down. One more. This time, just press to the toes when you come to stand. And bring the arms back and down. Let's do it again. Inhale, palms up. Press to the toes. And back down. One more. Inhale, bring it up. Toes. And almost fell over. Let the arms hang heavy. Fingertips just underneath the shoulders. Let's inhale as we sink it down to Malasana, which means my toes go wide. I can use my elbows to push the knees open. If the heels aren't down, that's okay. Put something underneath the heels. Now let's add that mobility work. So we're going to inhale here. As you exhale, you push the toes forward and pull your thigh to belly. Empty, squeeze everything out into a fold. Inhale to Malasana. Exhale to fold. One more inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale through your chaturanga. I like to lower my knees in a chaturanga. Feel free to lower the knees or keep them up. Inhale through cobra. And now exhale to a downward facing dog. Right toes are going to rise. Bend the knee. Press the foot across the body to open through the psoas. So check in with your shoulders. Make sure the shoulders are staying squared. You're focusing on extending the psoas, but that means I need to keep that psoas stretch side, shoulder closed. Okay, we want to create something to stretch from. And now I'm going to have knee to chest, hold, and just keep tucking and pulsing into the abdominals. Let's go for 3, 2, 1. Now that tucked knee is going to extend to the opposite side of the mat. I'm on the blade of my foot. My back heel is going to pivot to touch the mat. Inhale as you circle the arm open and lift into the hips. I'm going to keep circling my arm because it feels great. That bottom shoulder, bottom palm is nice and planted. And then take the top arm behind the head and hold. Maybe lift the hips a little bit higher, create a big C curve through the top side of the body. Now we're going to bring the hips down just a little bit and see if you can walk that bottom leg front to back. So this is a lot of stability work through this planted shoulder. Make sure you're nice and strong. Every fingertip is working. Let's go for 2 and 1. Now transition back to plank and hold for 3. Abs in, push into the toes, 2. I'm going to lower my knees for my chaturanga, but we're going to pulse. So if you want to do a straight push-up, feel free to do a straight push-up. I'm going to make sure my abs stay nice and active. And then I'm going to lengthen the arms and unroll to cobra. Take a few lat squeezes. So let the shoulders raise, draw the shoulders back and away. Do 2 more. Always good to check in, make sure we're creating all the space we can. Hold your cobra. Tuck the chin, quadruped, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, opposite foot comes up. Bend the knee, extend the leg across body. Keep opening the psoas. Check in with the shoulder line, make sure it's nice and squared. Let's take one more breath here. And now as you come back through center, drive the knee to the nose, lift into your high arm, push through your back toes. Now just keep tucking and pulsing up. Find your core muscles. Go for 3, 2. Now hold. Your bottom leg extends to the opposite side of the body. Your back heel is going to pivot down to the mat as the top arm floats open. Now you can create these big sweeping circles with the top arm, expanding through the ribs. You're keeping the length of the spine. Check in with the bottom shoulder. Make sure it's very strong. Now the hand goes behind the body. Lift the hips higher. Take a deeper stretch. Shoulders are back away from the ears. Now keeping the hand there. Check in with your top leg. Make sure the foot is down and active. The hand is down and active. Now that bottom foot can float front to back. So there's not a lot of transfer of weight. Let's go one more. Everything is just staying nice and strong at midline. All the way to plank. Let's hold for 3. Tuck into your core. 2. Open the chest. And add your little push-ups. I guess this is an arms class today. I guess that's what's happening. All the way down to the mat. And right away, Superman hold reach. If you want to add a little body rock, it'll just take you a little deeper. And you can get a little belly massage here too. 2, and 1. Reverse plank. Tuck it up. Take some knees to chest. Abs in. 3, 2, and 1. Front plank. Bend the knees. Walk the hands back. And then we're going to sink it down into Malasana. Press the palms, open the heart. Find all the space for the breath to go back into the body. If the heart rate just got lifted a little bit, mine did, take a moment to settle it back down. And then we'll release the hands, fingertips frame. Let's have toes forward. Inhale, up to stand. Exhale, back down to chair. So holding your chair. Now take your hands to the outsides of the hips. And when you're moving, you're lifting the leg laterally. You're only going to press right where your hand is. So it's a flex foot. Press into the hand and come back down. Press into the hand, come back down. Let's keep going right to left. Stabilize the planted foot. Use your ab muscles. Whew. Let's go one more each side. And then we're landing at hips distance. We're staying low. We're going to hop wide. I like to touch the ground. Hop to center. Hop wide. Hop to center. You want to make sure that you're not rounding into the spine. You're getting low because you're squatting into your hips and butt muscles. 2, and 1. This time we're going to land wide. Shake it out. Any movement. Find a figure 8. Release the body for a couple breaths. Now we got some legs in. That feels better. Add a big figure 8 through the hips. And then we're going to land on our left side. Walk it to the left side of the mat. Walk it across the mat. And all the way to the right. Whoa, I'm really struggling staying balanced today. Keep going right to left. This time we're landing in your wide plank. And then we'll unroll into a wide cobra. This is a lot better of a stretch, a lot deeper of a stretch through the hip flexors. Remember, if you need to bend your elbows, that's fine. But you're keeping the shoulders back and away from the ears. Check in with your hand. The entire palm is planted. And then we're going to bring the gaze down. Unroll just halfway. Now I'm going to pulse at that 90. Feel the elbows tuck in. Feel the triceps working. I want to keep the chest nice and open. My triceps are already burning. Whee. Let's go for 3, 2, 1. Another Superman hold. This time I'm bringing my toes together to tap. And keep the toes together. Bring the hands under the heart. My toes are going to come up towards the ceiling. My thighs are still off the mat, so I'm still holding and engaging. Now I'm going to flex my foot and then push straight towards the sky. Keep a nice long spine. You don't want to incorporate the back muscles too much. You're trying to isolate the butt muscles. So abs are in and tight, spine is nice and long, and you're pulsing from the glutes. And releasing the legs down. Give it a little shake out. We're going to finish with just one little vinyasa type flow. Do a hip stretch and call it good. I got to limit myself because I'll just sit here and Go all day long. So let's go back to child's pose. Take a breath. And then on the exhale, walk the hands forward, sternum to the mat, hips up for puppy's pose. Releasing the hips back, tuck the toes, find downward facing dog. Bend the knees, step or hop to the top, inhale flat. Exhale to a fold. Slow roll up through the spine. Press into the feet. You're going slow and vertebrae by vertebrae. When you get to the top, inhale, palms rise. Exhale to a fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale through your chaturanga is an option. You don't have to. You can also just meet me in downward facing dog. Inhale, right toes rise. Exhale, take it to the top of the mat, inside the right thumb, and let's pivot our left heel down. Now, if you need to bring that right elbow to the knee, go for it. I'm going to keep my hand down, and I'm going to tuck my right side glute muscle under. Now I have lots of space to open the other side of the body. Let's take one more big sweeping circle, and the arm is going behind the hip. You can see it's just going to hook into the hip, and I'm going to roll my top shoulder open, option to gaze up. Check in with your front foot, the toes are unrolled. My back toe, my pinky toe is working down to the mat to keep the side of the hip strong. Now, if you want to float that bottom arm up, take it to a float. Keep holding for 3. Squeeze and hug the hips in 2. And 1. Gaze forward, hands to heart. Your challenge here is to step straight into chair. So I have to drive from my back foot forward and hit chair pose. Stay there. Toes are together. Heels can be a little bit apart, but keep breathing. Now, no part of my foot, look at me, I'm getting creative and keep going. Said I was going to do 1 vinyasa flow. No part of the foot is coming up. I'm just going to do knees in and out. This is really good to stabilize through the knee joints. Keep the feet planted. Oh, my inner thighs. No part of the foot comes up. Let's go for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, stand. Exhale, fold. Let's get back to our vinyasa. Inhale, flat. Exhale through chaturanga. Cobra. And back to our downward facing. Inhale, left toes up. Bring the left foot inside the left thumb. Lower your back heel. So now if you need to bring that elbow to the knee, go for it. I'm going to keep my hand down. This bottom hip, I'm going to tuck my sits bone under. So I'm creating a nice traction from the hamstring to the heel. And now I can take these big opening circles through the top arm. Check in with the top leg. That pinky toe is working down to keep the outer hip strong. Then the top arm goes behind the back. Look what happens with my top shoulder as my arm circles back. It comes in. So I want to readjust, roll it open, gaze up towards the ceiling if you can. Now envision the spine. Get one long line through the spine. That might mean you have to tuck your bottom sits bone in a little bit more. Keep breathing, squeezing everything to midline. If you want, bottom heel floats. Keep the core in tight. Drive to midline, squeeze. 2 and 1. Now, let's square forward, hands to heart. I'm loading up on my back foot. I'm coming to chair, toes are together, and now we're staying in chair. Last challenge, press the palms so the upper body's active. Tuck in through the core. Now I'm nice and light on my legs, and I'm just gonna press to the balls of my feet. So I'm engaging up through my ankle joints, up into the calves, pulling my navel to spine, squeezing my knees together, hug the hips in, feel the pelvic floor muscles engage. Keep holding. Let's go 3. Squeeze. Maybe bring your butt closer to your heel. 2. This is a long countdown. And 1. Heels down all the way to the mat. Let it rock out. You can take some rolls on the spine. And then we'll land in seated position and just land with a deer pose. So one leg is up, one leg is back. We have 2 90s. So take the time to make sure you get into a 90 with the top leg, a 90 with the back leg. My knees are in line with my hips. So my femur bone is right in line with the hip joint. Now, my hip is pretty high, so I'm just gonna start moving it around, rolling it front to back, extending it out. I wanna start softening, loosening up the hip joint so that I can extend it closer to the mat. So there's energy in my feet. I'm gonna drive my hip down and then try to walk myself to a squared position. So now I have a big stretch from that groin all the way to the inside of the knee. Check in with your foot, make sure it's nice and strong. You can take a few breaths here. And then you can walk yourself into a fold. So if you start walking down and all of a sudden your body is way at a slant, use your hands to kind of steer yourself straight forward. Okay, now we have a nice stretch on the opposing hip. Flex foot, protect the knees. Let's take 2 breaths here. And then as you come up, it's a gentle roll. Just walk the hands in. I'm gonna bring my back leg forward and my arm is gonna catch underneath the leg, sits bones down, then I'm just gonna rock it out like a baby rock. You can scoop the foot into the elbow crease. You're nice and soft in the foot. You can do some mobility for the ankle. So many things you can do in a yoga practice, I tell you. And then we're gonna switch sides. So now I'm switching, my back leg goes forward, my front leg goes back. I have a 90 and a 90, femurs in line with the hip. Start finding mobility on the hip to try to go deeper into your stretch. So flex foot, protect the knees. And then I wanna land in my stretch. So deeper stretch from the groin all the way to the inner thigh. I'm gonna use my fingers to sit up nice and tall. I wanna get stacked right at center. Keep breathing. Imagine one line from the crown of the head down to the sits bones, or all the way down the spine. I guess we already have a line. Just envision the spine. Take 2 more breaths. And then you're gently walking down. So remember, if you start walking and all of a sudden you're leaning, readjust, use your hands, maybe flex your glute muscles. That'll help you stay in alignment. And then you can start working forehead down to the mat. Let's roll it back up. Gently, gently. And then coming through center. Hooking the foot. Whoops, same side arm hooks. You can do elbow crease. But you're basically just trying to release the weight of the leg and then supporting it with the arms. Mobility on the ankle. Any kind of cracks or pops you can get out of the toes. And then we'll release it to center. So anything you'd like to finish your practice with today, I hope you have some time for a Shavasana, at least 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes of Shavasana. Or I hope that helped you start your day. You should still be doing a little bit of Shavasana though to let everything settle. Hope you enjoyed that practice. Please like and subscribe so we can get these videos out there. My heart is in sharing this practice with everyone here and out there, everywhere, everywhere in the wide world. Thank you for joining me. I hope I see you next time and enjoy your day.